Hello and welcome to this edition of Safe and Secure. We have a jam-packed show for you today. Southfield's Fire Department has been going through rigorous training in anticipation of high-rise rescues and confined space rescues while dealing with recent retirements. And the Southfield Police Department held a much-anticipated open house this spring, and it was well attended. The police department is also seeing a lot of retirements and promotions, and their outreach program, Badges and Books, is a hit with the community. We'll have all that and more on this edition of Safe and Secure.
Today we're having a fun-oriented first annual police open house. And here we have Detroit Bomb Squad. We have communicated with the local food vendors. We have Zoop, Fuddruckers, Detroit Barbecue. We also have events for the kids. We have a canine demonstration as well as D&D bicycles, demonstrating bicycles for the kids and safety. We also have a car seat check station in which you can bring your car in and they check out your car and make sure it's safe.
The mission of the Bomb Squad is a couple of things. Obviously there's the investigation and render safe of any suspected explosive devices or military ordnance that are found. We also do special event protection, and we provide logistical support during large incidents that are being handled by other police department and fire department members. And community outreach is also a big part of our mission, and that's part of the reason we're here today. Prevention is part of our mission, because I would much rather get called because somebody found something and handled it correctly, as opposed to get a call after someone's been hurt or seriously hurt or even killed by an explosive device. So part of our mission is the outreach, that we let members of the community know what some of the potential hazards are when it comes to military ordnance, commercial explosives, and specifically fireworks. This is a big one that a lot of people, they don't tend to give them the respect they deserve. Every year I get calls where adults or often young children are seriously injured or even killed by fireworks. And the bottom line is that people need to follow the manufacturer's instructions on fireworks, and they need to buy their fireworks from reputable, licensed, permitted dealers. There's a lot of disreputable, unlicensed, uninsured people who are trying to undercut the legitimate market and sell the stuff on the cheap. That's a serious safety hazard, and every year I get called because someone's seriously hurt or killed by fireworks. There are people out there who are unpermitted and will attempt to make their own. They can acquire the supplies through legitimate or illegitimate means. This is a serious safety hazard, and it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be investigated. If you know someone who is making their own fireworks, that needs to be reported, because it's a serious safety hazard not only to themselves but the people around them.
So Thin Blue Line USA is a company where we supply items for law enforcement and supporters. We also make it our mission to give back to the law enforcement community. So far this year, we donated over $100,000 to families of fallen officers. So two main inspirations. First inspiration is my neighbor. He's a police officer. We grew up together, and I really got to appreciate the work that he continues to do every day. And also, my dad was just a lifelong supporter of law enforcement. He established a scholarship with the West Bloomfield Police Department for the kids of active officers, and it was cool taking his steps. And then also, we wanted to unite supporters with law enforcement. Today, supporters across the country, the Thin Blue Line, they fly this flag in honor of our law enforcement. So we started about 2 years ago out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and today we work with nationwide. We ship products across the country. We're a sponsor of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, and we actually just got back from Washington, D.C. For Police Week. 2.5 years ago, we brought to market the Thin Blue Line American flag, the 3x5 foot flag. And really this flag, this item, is what really took off. You know, you can see it across the country, supporters flying this flag in honor of our law enforcement. And then today we have a whole variety of products, from shirts to jackets, pins, stickers, and a bunch of new types of flags. We're doing this to really unite supporters and show that law enforcement, they're appreciated. We want to help in the law enforcement community and help raise money for families of fallen officers. You can go to thinbluelineusa.com. We have all of our products available there. And then if you'd like to donate to a law enforcement nonprofit that we're partnered with, the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund is a great organization.
Well, this is our very first annual police open house, and what open houses are opportunities for police departments to share the people, the equipment, the experiences of the police department with those who live, work, and play in the city. And it's about, you know, showing the police cars and, you know, having a picnic, festive type of environment so that people feel comfortable interacting with the police in their city. We have not only the equipment and the personnel from the Southfield Police Department, but we also have members of the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. They were supposed to bring their aviation unit today. It's to be determined if they will because of the inclement weather, but Oakland County Sheriff's Department, we have the Detroit Police Department's mounted unit, which are the horses, and they're a huge hit, very, very popular. The Detroit Police Department sent their bomb squad as well, so that's a very, very interesting unit. Then we have a puppet show that's very, very popular as well, and which one of our officers you know, does a puppet safety presentation. And it's very, very, like I said, popular with the kids, and it gives them some very, very important safety tips. Draws them in, gets their attention, and then puts out a very, very good message for those kids. We're actively recruiting, and this is an opportunity for people to come in and see what type of organization we have, see the culture of not only the police department, but the city of Southfield. And hopefully this will draw in some interested applicants for public safety in the city. So that's a key piece of it. Tremendous support and participation in this event from neighborhoods that are surrounding the Civic Center complex, neighborhoods across the city. We have Citizens Advisory Board members who are graduates of the Citizens Police Academy. We have neighborhood association presidents who have put the word out and are bringing in folks from there. We have members from the Southfield Public School System who are here visiting us and supporting us. So this really is a community-oriented event.
This event today, the open house, is important because to me, as a resident of the city, it shows that we don't wait for a catastrophe or a negative event to take place before we see a police presence. The police have actively become involved with a number of other communities. You see the Detroit Police Bomb Squad out here, etc., and some other of the local community police. You see them come out and talk about who they are, what they do, how they do it, and they bring officers who are willing to talk to you about what's going on and the whys and wherefores. And I think that that's a very positive thing. Again, it helps to take away the mystery behind the police. It humanizes them quite a bit and gives us a chance to interact on a other than traffic stop basis. I think I would add, anytime you have an opportunity to interact with a police officer on other than a personal level, in other words, you're not getting a traffic ticket or something, do so. You would be surprised to find out that these guys you see in the donut shop, Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts, wherever it may be, are in fact Southfield residents, and if they aren't residents, they are still people. They are our people, they work for our protection and our safety, and they do a damn good job of it, and I'm glad to have them around.
And incidentally, we were supposed to have it out in the parking lot, but Mother Nature didn't cooperate, and so we had to move everything inside the pavilion, and it actually is working out perfectly inside. Let's drop in on the retirement ceremony for Deputy Chief John Fitzgerald. John has completed over 31 years in law enforcement, 29 of those in Southfield. Good afternoon and welcome to the retirement ceremony for our beloved Deputy Chief John Fitzgerald, as he has completed over 31 years in law enforcement, 29 in Southfield. It's been a great ride, and we're going to miss him dearly. This is a great time for you, and it's always a bittersweet time for us. John's done a great job for us. He's been a deputy chief working with me for over 2 years, and I'm so very proud of the way he's led these young men and women that we have on our place. He's kept us on this trajectory toward greatness that others before us started, and he has this character and this ethical framework and foundation that really makes him a great person, really makes him someone I'm going to miss terribly. And so, John, I've told you this before, I appreciate what you've done in terms of building and helping develop those who are behind you.
Thank you.
We all have a role, family, and a deputy chief's major role when he's not bossing folks around and doing all that other kind of stuff is helping to build young men and women and helping them to step into the role that he's had. And he's done a phenomenal job of doing that. John graduated in 1985 from Grand Valley State University with a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice, and he graduated from the Grand Valley State Police Academy. He worked 2 years in the Hillsdale Police Department, and he started with Southfield in January of 1988. He was a patrol officer, he was a field training officer, one of my field training officers. He was a field training supervisor, he was a field training commander. He was a member of the very first directed patrol unit. He was a background investigator, he was an honor guard member, supervisor of the honor guard, and a commander in the honor guard. He was an original member, family, of we call it CERT. You may know it as SWAT. And he was served from 1994 until 2016. He was a rifle containment unit member, and he was an instructor for EVO, Emergency Vehicle Operations, and our PPCT in defensive tactics. John was promoted to sergeant in December of 1994. He was a directed patrol unit supervisor. He was a detective in the narcotics crew, and he was a team leader in the narcotics enforcement team from 2001 until 2004. And we've got a NET representative who's come to, and we appreciate you coming out to represent NET. He was promoted to lieutenant in December of 2004 and deputy chief in February of 2015. John has earned 4 departmental citations, 2 certificates of merit, 1 Chief's Award, a life-saving award, 8 individual commendations, 4 unit commendations, 2 Oakland County Sheriff Distinguished Unit Citations, an Oakland County Sheriff Commendation Citation, an Oakland County Sheriff Professional Excellence Citation, a departmental citation from the Farmington Hills Police Department, and in 1999, John was chosen as the Southfield Police Department's Officer of the Year. And he attended Northwestern's Police Staff and Command, and while there, family, he was awarded the Leadership Award as elected by his classmates. Very prestigious award in that prestigious training session. We congratulate you, John. DC, we're going to miss you tremendously. We wish you well as you embark on this new chapter in your life with your family and your friends. And on behalf of the Southfield Police Department, City of Southfield, our Citizens Advisory Board members, we congratulate you on your retirement.
Thank you. Sorry about the cellular.
Oh, that's okay.
I want to thank my wife Jennifer and my daughters Megan and Caitlin for
putting up with all the hours of net, midnights, weekends, holidays, all that stuff. Thank you. They're right here. Appreciate my dad right here. Jim Fitzgerald came over from Grand Rapids today. And my mom, who passed away 7 years ago, but she's the one that got me here to begin with. I really appreciate this department, the way it's been for all my career. They've provided great training, great equipment, great people to work with. If you take an assignment somewhere else and you get to know people from other departments, you find out how good we actually have it here. This is one of the most well-equipped, best-trained places, and glad to be here for that too. And God bless all of you. And unfortunately, the 128 Michigan officers that didn't come home during my 31 years. But God bless all of you, and thank you.
So, this is presented to Deputy Chief John Fitzgerald, January 25th, 1988 through December 12th, 2016. In appreciation for over 28 years of dedicated service, professionalism, and friendship. From your colleagues and friends at the Southfield Police Department, best wishes in your retirement. Congratulations. Thank you. The City of Southfield wishes John all the best in his retirement and new endeavors. At the same time as officers retire, the department is adding new hires and doing promotions. The following officers were promoted: Jeff Jagowski from Sergeant to Lieutenant. Ryan Losh was promoted from Detective to Sergeant. And the new hires were Michael Calandra, Tom Langowitz, Bill Peroni, and Daisha Gray, and Joseph Martinez. This is a great opportunity for those new hires as they are joining one of the finest law enforcement agencies in the country, and it's also great for the City of Southfield. The Southfield Fire Department prides itself on being ready for whatever emergency occurs, and it often does in-service training at Oakland University's CREST Center. CREST stands for Combined Regional Emergency Services Training. The concept of a training city providing realistic settings for real-life problems faced by emergency responders is an innovative outcome of Oakland Community College's more than 40 years experience in training emergency services personnel.
Oakland Community College, we do both credit and non-credit programs here. The CREST facility up at the where we're at today, they operate the fire academy, police academies, military training. Specific to the fire side here, we have basically an entire city, if you will, set up that we can do training in and set up all of these various drills. All these facilities are set up specifically for us to train in and reproduce some of these emergencies and day-to-day fire situations that we see. It really helps out all of our guys and all of our students and members of our local departments. Two things: to really make sure that they're prepared in case of an emergency, and more importantly, as manpower dictates, our departments now are more inclined to be working together. So by having different departments trained from different areas, it allows us to come together in an emergency or on a scene that we're both at and operate effectively. So the group you have here today, or these 3 days for training, is the Oakway Mutual Aid Association. It's 8 fire departments who all mutual aid and work on fires together. We all have agreements set up to go both in fires and non-fire situations to work together. So our goal nowadays is really to try and do a lot of training for those mutual aid departments so that we can effectively work together. That's really a big deal in these times where manpower tends to be a little bit less. We want to be able to work together effectively more.
The CREST site offers an experience where real-life scenarios are simulated by trainees who must not only think through options and decisions, but also actively apply their skills. Scenarios can be repeated in a controlled setting so trainees can work with them until their knowledge and skills are mastered.
Really, we start off with kind of simple and then work our way up. We start off with some SCBA familiarization and how to operate our packs in a very low light condition as we would be doing in an emergency. And then we move up into some of these other props that we have. Fitting through tight spaces. In the event of a collapse, we might have to go through a small space or try and shimmy through, in through walls and so on. And one of our biggest things is an entanglement type of situation where the roof or ceiling or a drop ceiling falls down on top of us, and we have to operate and figure out how to get out of that entanglement, which is where a lot of guys really get trapped and injured.
Firefighter training also takes place locally at Southfield Zone Training Field located at Station Number 5. One of the scenarios is called RIT training, or Rapid Intervention Teams.
When our guys are inside of a IDLH or a dangerous situation, sometimes they may need to be rescued themselves. So what the firefighters are doing today is practicing drills and skills and readying themselves to be able to rescue one another. What they're doing is they're practicing for inside of a home or a commercial building. So yeah, it is close quarters work, and it's rescuing. So it's rescuing each other. So yeah, there's times where it's going to be in a small area of a building. So yes, they're going to be on the ground. They're going to be crawling through windows. They'll be crawling through doorways and tight areas where they might get trapped and have to find their own exit way out of a building. Today we just had the practical portion. The lecture portion was given earlier. So we have Lieutenant Ken Chestnut, who teaches at one of the local colleges. He is here instructing crews that are not on his unit duty. So he's here coming in on his own time, on his off time, to work with crews that are on duty today. They're coming in by station at a time to keep the classroom smaller, to get the hands-on, one-on-one.
Lieutenant Nick Owens has been with the Southfield Fire Department for over 21 years and is very experienced in rope rescue.
I guess technology is evolving in our industry just like in every other industry. So when we used to use knots and ropes, now we have different pieces of equipment that we can use that do the same thing, that are easier to put together, that are more user-friendly, and that are now a little more affordable. So all the departments, the 8 in Oakway, can afford to buy them. And this is an in-service on those products. In addition to being paramedics and to being firefighters on the suppression side and protecting their homes, that we have a whole different aspect of our job that they probably don't understand or know about. And this is just one of them. We do trench rescue, we do confined space rescue, we do high angle rescue, and we do structural collapse rescue. And a lot of our team members or our department members are trained in those different disciplines. And because we do that, and because the city has given us the opportunity, the training, the equipment, it honestly makes us a more skilled department, and it makes the residents safer at their home. It really does.
We've had a number of retirements take place in the fire department. Bill Foster, Mark Pear, Ken Chestnut, and Jim Dundas. The Southfield Police Department, in partnership with Kroger, the Southfield Public Library, and Friends of the Southfield Library, has been hosting badges and books on select Thursdays, May through September, from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. in the Kroger parking lot located at 23675 Greenfield Road. The event is hosted in the Police Mobile Command Unit, where children, infants through adults, have the opportunity to come aboard and select a free book donated by the Southfield Public Library and friends of the Southfield Public Library. Officers also provide tours of the Mobile Command Unit and its many features. Officer Kelly Buckberry tells us more.
Basically, this is our Badges and Books event. We're trying to reach out to the community and get our kids reading this summer instead of just sitting around the house and watching TV. We're trying to get them to read and to get involved because kids tend to lose what they've learned over the school year during the summer. So basically we're just trying to get them to read so they continue their education throughout the summer. The turnout's been excellent. We've had a lot of parents coming up to us, a lot of kids coming up to us. We're doing this in conjunction with Kroger, who's donating popsicles and bottles of water to the kids, and we're giving out books that have been donated by our library as well as by some of our citizens. Well, we just hope that our residents come out and bring their kids out here so they can meet police officers and they can talk to us and we can talk to them. It's been a great turnout. We're very happy. We're trying to do this once a month throughout the summer.
Badges and Books is scheduled for August 17th and September 14th from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. Books are in limited supply and will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. Well, that's it for this edition of Safe and Secure. To find out more about the Southfield Police and Fire Departments, go to cityofsouthfield.com and go to our respective pages. You can also find out more by going to our Facebook and YouTube channels and looking at our pages. Until next time, stay safe and secure.